The human mind is a master at jumping to conclusions. If I say Oscar, you think murder trial, not movie award. If I say a bunch of cute chicks, you think I'm talking about this, and not this. Similarly, when you hear the phrase 4-litre twin-turbo V8, you probably think of a low-slung, menacing-looking sports car, not a 1.8-ton luxury saloon. Which is what the Audi S8 is. Not the most obvious candidate for the S treatment given its size and its appeal to, shall we say, the more mature driver, but given that Mercedes-Benz and Jaguar and Maserati have sporty offerings in their luxury saloon stables, there clearly is a market. Although I don't know too many people who want lashings of carbon fibre and the option of seats that cost 130,000 Rand. On paper, the S8 is a bit incongruous. It's got race car material matched to high-end sound. It's got sports car rivaling performance matched to first-class rivaling luxury. And yet, it manages to pull it all off. With the A8 as a base, I guess it wasn't too much of a stretch though. A car that already provides an envious list of comfort and luxury features has had true power added to its talents. The layout with its many buttons may be due for a redesign, but in terms of standard kit and the level of comfort, there's almost nothing more you could ask for. Usually, these kinds of test cars are riddled with every option on the list, but Audi South Africa has been relatively restrained when it comes to the spec in this car. But even without some of those extras, it's still a very special place to be. Your first impression of the S8 isn't, wow, this leather is soft, or this design is really nice. It's, holy hell, this car is fast. 0 to 100 in 4.1 seconds. And to put that into context, that's about a second quicker than a Porsche Cayman R, which weighs half a ton less than this car. And to put that into even more perspective, a baby elephant at birth is about 120 kilograms. And that means you could put 2 of those in the back, and not only would they fit quite nicely, but this car would still be quicker than the Porsche. The 4-litre twin-turbo puts out 382 kilowatts and 650 newton-meters. We recently drove the A8 diesel, and although that has an almighty 850 newton-meters, the sensation in the S is very different because it seems endless. As long as you keep your foot down, it'll keep shoving you along at a rate that is so implausible that you can't help but smile. Ah, you're saying not all roads are straight, and putting this much weight through a corner won't feel too good. I'd love to be able to tell you, but honestly, I have no idea, because even at speed, you feel very little in here. You see the corner approaching, you start to turn the wheel, and the next thing you know, that corner is behind you. Quattro is of course standard, so the all-wheel drive has a lot to do with it, but the actual process of cornering, of feeling the steering and the chassis, there's none of that. Like a good PA, the S8 doesn't want to bother you with the details of how the job is done, it just gets the job done with as little fuss as possible. Almost more amazing than that is that the S8 isn't even the top of the range. Sure, it's got the most kilowatts, but the W12 has got a bigger engine. The TDI has got more newton meters, and price-wise, this car sits about in the middle. So, what are your options when you've got a few million Rand to spend? The S8 is 1.4 million Rand. The Jaguar XJR has more power, more torque and a higher top speed, but also costs 300,000 Rand more. Mercedes-Benz S63 AMG is also an all-wheel drive cruise liner with a 4-second 0 to 100 time, but that costs a massive 700,000 Rand more. BMW's 400 kilowatt 760 IL, 2 million Rand. Maserati's Quattraport, about the same. So, unbelievably, in the land of the million Rand luxury saloon, the biggest differentiator is value. They all have got impressive stats, they've all got their own recipe on luxury, but the S8 does it cheaper than anybody else. And to go with its understated price, typically understated Audi styling, with just a few cues telling you what sets this one apart from the rest. The 20-inch wheels are optional, but the same S-bits you'd find on the other versions are here too. Quad exhaust tailpipes, satin chrome mirrors, and inconspicuous badging all help convey just a touch of attitude. The Audi S8 is a very big car. It weighs an impressive amount. It's got a powerful motor and supreme performance, and the scale of its luxury is matched only by its thirst for petrol. There is one word you can use to sum up this car because its meaning applies to every aspect of the S8, and that word is immense. The 4-litre twin-turbo has been tweaked to produce 382 kilowatts, and that feels every bit as impressive as it sounds. The 8-speed Tiptronic is also very good. The interior may feature a few too many buttons for our liking, but given the complete offering of power, performance, style and luxury, its 1.5 million rand price tag is a relative bargain.